is Thursday night race night here at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the penultimate round of the 2021 Season 4 of the iRacing Stock Car Association ButtKicker Cup Series here for the SugarLands Distillery 225. My name is Old Rempo. I've got Brian Britt beside me in the broadcast booth with Rob Meldick down behind the cameras for tonight's 225 lap presentation. So we got set to go short track racing for not just 1, but 2 weeks here to end out this season here, Brian. Of course, we're not going to be heading on over to Chicagoland Speedway next week with the AOPA. We will be there for the Saturday night Tucson Sound Art Cup Series, but of course, this Thursday night ButtKicker Cup Series taking the day off due to Thanksgiving being right on that same day. So this means that if you want to set yourself up going into that season finale at Richmond, it is crucial that you get a good result here tonight.
Yeah, definitely going to be very big deal to get a good finish here, and going to be really something all about survival here. I mean, this is quite a difficult racetrack, very fast, deceptively fast for a short track, I would say.
It is deceptively fast. I couldn't agree with you more on that one. We're talking sub 19-second laps. Of course, the slowest lap so far was an 18.802 in practice, but every other time above that, beneath an 18.5. So it is about a quarter of a minute for one lap around here. You can log out between 3 and 4 laps every single minute, which means this race should just fly by should it go green. But, of course, it is short track race, which, of course, means get a little bit of rubbing, going to get a little bit physical here, I would imagine, over these next 225 laps. The likelihood that we make through this race caution-free, I'd say slim to none.
Yeah, I definitely can agree to that. But I think it's still going to be some really good, clean racing. I mean, there's a lot of opportunity for long runs to happen out here. I mean, especially once these guys get the rust out. I mean, you definitely have to be really careful on the corner exit. As I'm watching Brian Johnson trying to qualify right now, and he hits the wall. So you can just see how hard it is to get off these corners. Almost have to drive like you got eggs underneath that gas pedal.
And, of course, for guys like Justin Levine, they are looking to lock this season out early. And Levine comes into this race 44 points clear of Clayton Hoffman. Hoffman is the only driver that has a mathematical chance of besting Justin Levine. And Levine, with only 19 cars on the grid, has a serious potential here to be able to get that championship secured tonight going into Richmond.
Yeah, definitely could be a possibility. But you know what? Be honest with you, I mean, after the finishes we've seen Clayton have, would not be surprised that he's not going to lay down easily. That's for sure.
No, absolutely not. Clayton Hoffman has been putting down some seriously good performances, but unfortunately it's just not been enough to close up to Justin Levine. Of course, at Homestead just 1 week ago, Levine had quite a few struggles getting into pit road, bottled the pit stops at the ends of both stages 1 and 2. He's looking to see if he can maybe turn that around here in this second to last race on the season. 2 minutes are left in qualifying. Noah Bitts currently has the best time so far by almost 2/10 over Josh Schaffner.
Yeah, that's not really a surprise. I mean, Noah Bitts was fastest in practice for sure. I mean, he was hitting times pretty much just like that at 18.021, very quick. One thing you mentioned about Justin Levine struggling on pit road, well, if he struggled on pit road at Homestead, I don't know what to tell you here at this racetrack. It's hard to even get off of pit road here, let alone get on it.
It's a tough thing to do indeed. So if green flag pit stops will come into a factor, well, this could get mighty interesting, couldn't it? You got 3 stages of course set for tonight. Stage 1 ends at the end of lap 50. Stage 2 at the end of lap 100. That is from there going to be a 125 lap sprint to the end with the field window just around 106 laps. So just shy of being able to make it to the end of this race, which could mean that unless they got a caution about 25 laps or even 6 laps or so into the run later on in stage number 3, we could be seeing green flag pit stops. But with how long that fuel window is and how quick the lap time is here and how close these guys are going to be together, I say that might be a far cry.
I mean, it could be a possibility that some guys choose a different strategy also. If that last run does go green, some guys might decide to pit. I mean, it's going to put you multiple laps down if you do. But tires are going to be pretty worth it in a lot of regards, though. I mean, considering, in a long run here, you see sometimes 2 seconds or more fall off.
Clayton Hoffman has not been able to set a lap time here today. He spun out on his second lap, biffed the wall on his first. Justin Levine was only able to set an 18.922. So Justin Levine has some work to do tonight. Did it set any laps in practice? His second lap was a 20-second lap time, some 2 seconds off of Noah Bitz's pace. So Levine could find himself in trouble here tonight. He sits 3/10 off the next closest driver in front of him, Greg Wyszynski, and it's another 2/10 up from there just to Travis Manning. So your 2 points leaders could find themselves in a bit of trouble with some work to do tonight. But for now, it is time for the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Race fans, it is time for those most famous words in motorsports.
Remember what I told all my drivers? Reach up there and pull those belts tight one more time. Drivers, start your engine!
And starting on the front row here for the SugarLands Distillery 225 is none other than Noah Bitz, who's been on pole position so many times, has not been able to put together race pace, though. We'll see what he can do from pole position here tonight at the short tracks. It's Josh Schaffner to start beside him on the front row, almost 2/10 back. And then you have David Phillips down in third place with Chad Sullivan down in P4. Chris Johnson rounds out your top 5 on row number 3 with Kenny Powell beside him. Craig Johnson and Paul Smallenberg round out 7th and 8th. Travis Manning and Greg Wyszynski round out your top 10 here, Brian.
Justin Levine going to be starting in 11th after not the best qualifying effort. Clayton Hoffman starting in 12th after not completing a lap at all. 13th, John Mullins. And 14th, Brian Johnson. 15th, going to be Roy Hyde. 16th is going to be Brian Littleton. 17th, Corey Cook. Matthew McMeekum going to be in 18th. And rounding out this 19-car field is going to be Mark Sanchez.
It is a little bit interesting, isn't it, to see guys like Clayton Hoffman and Justin Levine struggling so much in qualifying. It's very much unlike those two drivers who are usually so good consistently at tracks like these. I think even more surprised, though, is that the fact that we've got about half the field that didn't set a qualifying time. 11 out of the 19 cars didn't set a time. That's about I'd say 45% or so of the field that opted not to set a time. That's 8 cars. It's a bit interesting, isn't it? You wonder if they all had struggles or some that just decided to hang around in the back.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it had to be something to do with struggles because qualifying is very important at a racetrack like this. Track position is going to literally be everything. I mean, the guy up front is going to have that clean air to help him out. I mean, even though this is a short track, very fast track. I mean, these guys go about 100 mile an hour through the corners, 100 up to 140 on the straightaways. So, I mean, air is going to play a role, and I think Noah Bitz is going to have a distinct advantage being in clean air.
I think the story that's going to be one to watch out for as we get set to go green here. Pace car is yet to roll is going to be row number 6, holding your 2 main title contenders here for this 4th season of 2021 for the iRacing Stock Car Association ButtKicker Cup Series. Hoffman and Levine starting side by side. Hoffman still technically has a mathematical chance. All Levine's got to do tonight, though, is finish well, and he will have this one in the bag. Travis Manning has opted to start from pit road, and looks as though John Mullins is going to be doing the same. Both drivers not present at the moment. Mark Sanchez also not currently in the session, so we'll have to see what will be happening for those 3 drivers. Manny could go down a lap here before he gets out of pit road.
Yeah, with a short track like this, you find yourself going down a lap down very quickly, and you know, starting from the pits is all but going to guarantee that. That is, you know, setting you out on the wrong foot. I think that he is expecting a caution. That would be the only reason I could, think to even do something like that here at this racetrack.
1 lap to green here, and I'm going to pass it back to you here, Brian, real quick. What's your thoughts here before we go green? What we can expect for tonight's 225 lap race?
I think we're going to see a lot of beating and banging, a lot of both lines working. I mean, I've seen all week so far that top line and bottom line work. So I think it really depends on how you set your car up. I think it's going to be very exciting. I've been looking forward to this race. I'll tell you what, Nolan.
I want to thank everybody for taking the time to join us out here on a Thursday night for more racing from the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. The 6/10 of a mile short track in the hands now of the best pace car, pulls down from pit road. And it will be Barney the Flagman. Wave that green flag. We are racing for the SugarLands Distillery 225. Bad launch for Schaffner. It's a huge check with the outside line. Already Hoffman spinning down to the turn 1. The caution flies. Hoffman up on his side. Nearly flipped over. It's a terrible start for a driver who needed such a good result today. It's all falling apart for Clayton Hoffman before they even got through the first corner. And it all happened, Brian, when Schaffner missed a shift.
Yeah, for sure. It looks like he almost got into someone on the high side and then went down. Or no. It looks like Brian Johnson or somebody got into the rear end of him. Oh, my word.
And the whole outside line checked out. Schaffner didn't go as nearly as quick as everyone behind him thought he would. It was just a big Constantina effect, and it was Brian Johnson that rear-ended Clayton Hoffman. Just could not check up in time. Had no idea what was going on up in front of you. See Smallberg check up. There's Wachinski, Hoffman, Johnson, and then Corey Cook just avoids it. And that was Matthew McMeekin in the 41 car that got into it as well. A horrible result start here, though, for Clayton Hoffman, who is in dire straits, needing a good run tonight. You know who this has helped, though? Travis Manning and Brian Johnson. Had that caution not come out, both of those drivers absolutely would have been a lap down already. Of course, Manning had to start from pit road. Because of this, though, he stays on the lead lap. That is a very good thing for the frontline driver.
Yeah, definitely going to be very good for him. I mean, it's almost like he knew that was about to happen. That would have been the only reason you would start from the pits like that. But he definitely got saved just now. I know Brian Johnson's substantial damage on that race car. Now 1 lap down, missing his whole front end. At least Clayton has a front end. Not much of one, but still at least he has one.
And Clayton Hoffman is already down in pit road, and he has been sitting there for a very long time. Now 1 lap down. Set to go down 2 here, so this is bad news for Clayton Hoffman. He's not even in the race car. If he calls it quits here, this title will be Levine's, and we haven't even gotten a full green flag lap in the second to last race.
Yeah, you hate to see that, but I'm sure Levine loves to see it.
It hurts to see, championship battle have to end in that fashion. I mean, you don't expect to see something like that. It just comes out of left field, and there it is. Clayton Hoffman has just departed from the facility. And ladies and gentlemen, with the next driver on points, 112 points back, Justin Levine is your 2021 Season 4 iRacing Stock Car Association ButtKicker Cup Series champion. And we're not even 5 laps into this race. I think this is something that is unprecedented. We have never seen a title fight end like this, and it's a title fight you hope would never have to end like this.
Yeah, it definitely breaks your heart to see it. But I mean, there's still a lot of racing left to go, even though it's not. Maybe the championship might be locked up now. Still going to be a lot of opportunities for these drivers out here to showcase their skills and build some momentum coming into the next season.
At this point, it is all down for the pride and the glory of going for those last final moments on the racetrack where you want to go out there and get yourself a race win. You just want to go out and do what you can, see if you can potentially pull out one more good result. Pace cars down to pit road. We'll see if we can make it one lap this time around. This time in the hands of Noah Bitts. We're going to get this race back underway for the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. Bitts off and away, and already 3 car lengths clear of David Phillips the second down to the turn number 1. It's a side-by-side battle for 4th place as they duke it out amongst themselves. Sullivan against Johnson. Sullivan pulls ahead. Look at Kenny Powell, see if he can make one up on his teammate in the 48 car. Not going to go anywhere. Has to fend off against Craig Johnson from the outside.
I'll tell you what, Kenny Powell at 24 is going to be one to watch here tonight. I mean, I've heard tell from him bragging a little bit about how he's been winning multiple races this week here at this racetrack. I think he's got a shot at this thing here. He's already flirting with the top 5.
Battle on for 3rd place. Looks like Chad Sullivan trying to make up one on Josh Schaffner up in that 50 car. The Reaper Speed Labs Mustang to the inside of Josh Schaffner. He'll try to take that spot away from the outside pole sitter, and he does. 3rd place belongs to the 21 driver of Chad Sullivan. Up door for Chris Johnson, trying to see if he can maybe throw something up for him in the number 48 Gas and Go Mustang, but so far, nothing doing. Chris Johnson going to try to find the inside line, but it's going to be a long way back. He's going to have to make that dive, and Schaffner losing a bit of speed, but able to carry the momentum from the outside.
Yeah, it's so hard to pass at this racetrack. I mean, if Schaffner could just go up a little bit, he'll have the momentum off on an exit, but, you know, Johnson, it just really depends on how your car rotates. You know, and, you know, that guy up top, you really have to lift a little bit more just to stay from hitting him. You don't want to hit anybody.
No, for sure. That's the last thing you want to do, especially on a track as tight as this. I mean, you know, if you hit somebody, chances are they're going to hit right back and have a little bit of oomph to their strike as well. Chris Johnson still, though, looking on the hunt. Schaffner swings that one wide to the 182, and he's doing such a good job of trying to dime it off these corners and get the run. Oh, look out, Craig Johnson sliding out. You saw it at the back end of your screens, having a big moment down to the inside line, saves it, but overshoots 3 and 4 as a result. That could have been a lot worse, though, from the 83 Chevrolet. Did a good job to keep that thing out of the inside wall.
Yeah, that was a very good save. I'm shocked he saved that. I mean, he looked like he was going the wrong direction for sure, but good he caught it. That's going to put a big gap between him and Kenny Powell. David Phillips trying to take the 3rd spot away on the top side up here. Or, I'm sorry, he's getting the 2nd spot taken away from him from Chad Sullivan. My mistake.
And Ferndale Radio Chevrolet starts to slip. There's something we've been seeing more commonly in the last few weeks as well. Much like Noah Bitts, right? I mean, David Phillips usually has these really strong performances that he pulls out in qualifying, but is just not able to put together a car that's got some good race pace behind him. It's so unfortunate for him. He's doing his best to see what he can do, and Greg Wyszynski might be coming in this time by. So green flag pit stops. Wyszynski's got a lot of damage on his Gas to Go Chevrolet. I wonder if maybe he's coming on down because he might be overheating that car.
Could very well be the case. 100%. I mean, that's, you know, this is a short track. Caution's out.
Caution flag waves. And it is the Precision Setup Shop number 61 that is taking it for a slide, and that is down on the front straightaway. Did he have help from Manning just behind him? Is going to be the big ticket question here.
No, he lost it all on his own, looks like. Hit that apron, that's what sent him really around.
And look at this. Locks up the brakes and just keeps that out of the inside wall. Great job of Corey Cook to make sure that car comes away with no damage other than some hurt tires. And saw further in the back, that was Noah Bitts, who decided to be merciful. He actually slowed up and waited for Corey Cook to get that thing rolling so as to not put him a lap down. This is good news for Wyszynski, who is now only going to find himself 1 lap down as a result of this. One more caution will put the 5 car back on the lead lap.
Yeah, that was a really good move from Noah Bitts there. I mean, not a lot of drivers would do that for you.
And of course, so you got guys in Noah Bitts there now going to be leading this race. As Brian Johnson takes his lucky dog. Let's take one quick step away here and we're back with the restart in just a few moments.
Getting into this particular business, it was very important for us to make sure that we were putting out the most authentic product. SugarLands Distilling Company is a fantastic distillery in downtown Gatlinburg, Tennessee. Our goal is to spread across the country. We would love your help in doing that.
ButtKicker. Feel what you've been missing. Get yours today at thebuttkicker.com and be sure to use our 20% discount promo code ISCA20.
Round 3 and 4 still behind the iRacing safety car. Bits is your leader, Sullivan second, Phillips third, Schofter fourth, Chris Johnson rounds out your top 5 as we go 1 to green. The SugarLands Distillery 225.
Yeah, I can't wait to see these guys, shake these cautions out of their systems and get back racing here. I mean, I know that this track is so, capable of such great racing. And I know all these drivers are capable too, but I just, sometimes you get a little aggressive. This is one of those tracks, Nolan, where you cannot race your competitors. You have to race the track.
You're racing the track as much as you're racing the guys around you on said track, and they're dealing with the same stuff you're dealing with. Bits leads them back to the green flag, and David Phillips II might try to mount the defensive here on Chad Sullivan, but he's not going to have the overspeed into turn number 1. Sullivan's clear from Phillips, from Schofter. Chris Johnson under fire for 5th place from teammate Kenny Powell. Just in behind, heads up, points leader and new champion Justin Levine looking to charge from the inside.
Yeah, a lot of shuffling going on right back there. Craig Johnson trying to work his way up to Justin Levine. So hard to pass here. I mean, where do you go? I mean, you mentioned it earlier about this track being so narrow. I mean, it is pretty narrow.
It looks about 3-4 lanes wide, but then you got to remember, that these cars are almost 2 lanes wide in of their own right. I mean, it is definitely far from the easiest track to make an overtake out. You got the bank of that wall towards speed, trying to make an overtake from the inside line. It's almost like a bit of a combination, right? It's got the speed and the bank of Bristol, but it's got the shape of Martinsville. That makes it a very interesting combination.
And another really interesting thing about it is if you take the exit too low coming out of 4, there's like a divot there, like a patch of asphalt where it dips a little bit lower, can really upset the car. So there's not as many lanes you can run coming out of 2, so very difficult to pass.
See Roy Hyde in the battle with Paul Schmallenberg. Schmallenberg trying to take the outside lane away. Looks like the Chevrolet's going to have to fall back in line. Look out for Travis Manning's front line Mustangs. See if they can maybe make up some ground. And Roy Hyde being sent to be a freight train around the outside lane here. That's definitely where you want to be for the moment. It looks like if you want to try to execute a pass here at this facility as Roy Hyde, he's able to mount a good defense, but like Schmallenberg, it wasn't able to last, and that's going to be a similar story here with Manning. Is Manning going to pull clear this time high out of turn 2, and Hyde not able to send it back down to counter.
Yeah, Hyde looked like he was going for broke there. Oh, Travis Manning spinning all by himself into the inside wall. He keeps it going. We're going to stay green here.
And that came out of left field. Manning, you can tell, was not expecting that. You just talked about it. Those little divots at the bottom of the racetrack, they unsettled him. He tried to get on the throttle, though, spun the tires up when he reached the turn 4 exit, and that sent him around. He is back going again, and we stay green. No caution for what would have been our 3rd potential yellow flag causing incident of the night. Look back up front to your battle for 4th, 5th, and 6th. Schofter leads it from Chris Johnson. Kenny Powell still waiting in the wings.
Yeah, one thing about that, Travis Manning had that little incident there. Now he's 11 seconds back from the leader, Noah Bitts, and soon to probably go a lap down. It just shows you how big of a thing like that can, if you spin, make any kind of mistake at this racetrack, you're going to pay for it dearly.
The good news for Manny is he's got a caution coming up here in about 20 laps or so. He'll be able to come down, get at least some of the damage fixed, if not all of it. You can't sit around in pit road for too long, of course, like you can at some tracks like Homestead we saw just 1 week ago, where you could find yourself going a lap down, potentially even 2 down. So you'll be able to get some of it. Might not be able to get all of it, but you got 2 more stage cautions coming down the line for you.
And Josh Schaffner right now under a lot of fire right now from Chris Johnson. Kenny Powell waiting in the wings there. I mean, you literally all you can do is wait for this guy to make a mistake. Chris Johnson almost trying to dive it on the inside here. That 48's hungry. Oh, almost some contact. That was close.
Had to back out, or it would have absolutely hooked Schaffner into the inside wall. That let Kenny Powell kind of get an overspeed. Trying for the crossover, jammed out of 2, down for 3. Not going to happen, though, for the 24 Toyota. One of the lone Toyotas, I should mention, in the field as well. There's out of these 19 cars, only 2 of them are running Toyotas. Those drivers, of course, are Kenny Powell. You got Smallenberg as well, just in the thick of things. You can still see Johnson looking tight, looking loose now as he exits turn 2. Powell goes through. Here comes Levine trying to capitalize on the mistake as well.
Yeah, that was a big mistake from Chris Johnson, but I feel like Chris Johnson had the pace to get by Schaffner. I just think Schaffner was doing a great job of defending. I mean, Schaffner doesn't look like he's got the car right now, but he's still keeping these guys behind him.
He's doing a great job on keeping some of these guys in behind. And how about your top 3, or your top 2, right, have absolutely just broken away for the rest of the field, but Noah Bitts has not been able to pull away from Chad Sullivan at all. Your top 2 separated by just a quarter of a second, and that gap is steadily closing on in. Sullivan has consistently been about a 1/10 of a lap faster for the last couple of laps now. He is looking to hunt down Noah Bitts for the race lead.
Yeah, you can already see the fall off that we're experiencing out here on this racetrack. I mean, already a half a second for a lot of these guys or more.
And half a second doesn't sound so bad at some tracks like Las Vegas, right, where you could lose up to 2-3 seconds maybe, but at a short track where the lap times are only 18 seconds apiece, that is an absolute lifetime of time out there on the racetrack. And we're talking, you know, these top 2 separated by just a quarter of a second, and 3rd through 4th, there's only 1 second between them. 5th, 6th, and 4th are all separated by just 6/10 themselves. It is not. It's a long, long time on a track as short as this one. You can see Sullivan trying to enter low. I think trying to carry some more momentum around the bottom side, but it's just not working for him so far. Not able to reel in Noah Bitts as much as he might like.
It's just so hard to pass. I mean, he's got to wait for Noah to make a mistake. I mean, that's literally the only way. I mean, Noah's defending every lane possible. I mean, Chad can't pass him on the top because he can't get there.
I wonder if he's trying to force him into a mistake, trying to maybe show his nose up the inside and hoping to scare Bitts wide. If he just break a little bit later, it might work, but Noah Bitts is not a guy we've seen often a crack under pressure. See all these little adjustments being made to the wheel of Chad Sullivan as we dive back down to the turns 1 and 2. Watch this one on the exit. He's going to hold it down the bottom, and how unsettled that wheel starts to get. Not to the point where you're having to counter steer over these corners, but never too far away from it either.
I mean, you can see the change in banking, and like I said, that like little change in asphalt down there that really just upsets the car, and you really have to be aware of it and know it's coming. You know, to do those little minor adjustments to make it so it doesn't snap loose on you like a lot of other guys have been dealing with. But I mean, you're right though. Intimidation's a big factor here. I mean, Chad Sullivan's all in that rearview mirror, Noah Bitts, and that's gonna make him nervous. I mean, you want to be all in his mirror. You want to let him know, hey, I'm here, and you can't be comfortable. The more he looks in his rearview mirror, the more likely he's going to make a mistake.
You know, Matthew McMeekin could have saying how this battle plays out. He's the second car of the road. That is lap traffic that Noah Bitts is going to have to navigate. He's going to have to get around him quickly here. Does not want to be compromised in the line, but Meekin parks that one middle of the track. That's bad news for Bitts, who is only losing more time coming to what will be 6 laps to go in stage number 1. And this time Bitts finds the inside of the 41 car through 1 and 2, but can't get the hammer down. McMeekin's still there out of 3 and 4. Sullivan, though, trapped in the same bubble. He can't even get the good line down to the turn 1. That could allow Bitts to pull about half a 10th over Chad Sullivan. Sullivan's still going to look to fight this one out, though. It could get physical here, coming to 5 to go.
Yeah, I think it might get physical. I mean, the way Sullivan's looking, he's looked like he's wanting to use that bumper to maybe move him out of the way. I mean, he is aggressive right now.
You got to do what you got to do at the end of the day, and Sullivan going to be looking for it. Bitts sliding it out a little bit. Oh, couldn't get the look blocked by Bitts. down to the turn number 3, coming to 4 laps to go this time by. Chad Sullivan ain't done yet. Bitts clips the wall out of 4.
I'm telling you what, if Sullivan gets there, I think he would use that Chrome horn. He is looking so fast right now, and I think he knows track position is so important. He wants to win this stage. That way he can probably win the race off pit road.
3 laps remaining. Noah Bitts still trying to keep Chad Sullivan at bay. Pit road will close this time by at the line. Bitts steps it out again. That opens up the door for Sullivan, but he cannot get the speed he needs to have a proper look down the inside. Trying to find the outside this time. Maybe go for an over-under. Pit road is now closed, and the battle is on with 2 laps to go.
Sullivan is trying everything he possibly can right now to get underneath Bitts, and it looks like he's got it this time. He's underneath him.
Sullivan finds the door open, and it's 1 lap to go in stage number 1. This will be a dead heat. Bitts tried everything he can to keep Sullivan at bay for the outside line. He can pull the momentum. Sullivan cannot get the hammer down. It's still neck and neck down the back straightaway through 3 and 4. How aggressive is Bitts going to be on defense, trying to keep Sullivan at bay, looking to pinch him down, and it will be Chad Sullivan to take it out of turn number 4.
Man, that was exciting. I mean, that looked like that was the last lap of the race there. They were racing so hard. What a stage.
And the caution waves. It's Sullivan to win stage 1. No Bitts in 2nd. Phillips 3rd. Schaffner 4th. Powell 5th. Levine 6th. Johnson 7th. Littleton 8th. Schmallenberg and Roy Hyde round out the top 10. Let's take a quick step away as we conclude stage number 1.
Getting into this particular business, it was very important for us to make sure that we were putting out the most authentic product. SugarLands Distilling Company is a fantastic distillery in downtown Gatlinburg, Tennessee. Our goal is to spread across the country. We would love your help in doing that.
And pit stopped. Presley underway. Sullivan led them down. We'll see if he'll lead them off as well. And out of pit road, it is Chad Sullivan to lead the way. Out of pit road. Let's dial up your stage 1 winner here as pit stops come to a close. Chad Sullivan, you join us in the broadcast booth. What a battle for the stage 1 victory.
Yes, sir. That was a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
It could have moved.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. No, you go ahead by all means.
I thought I was a little bit quicker there, right there in that part of the run. I just didn't know if I was going to be around it, get around him. It's so hard to pass on the inside here, so I just tried to get a run coming off and see if I could get alongside of him and see if it'd stick.
You were definitely close enough to use that chrome horn at any given point. Did the thought ever enter your mind?
Oh, no, definitely not this early. Maybe on the last lap, but I don't think that I've ever done that in my racing career.
And what's the plan going to be for stage number 2?
Got to stay out front.
Sounds like a solid plan to me. Just push as hard as you can go. Fuel obviously not concerned until stage 3. So, well, congrats on that stage 1 win. Hopefully we'll talk to you later on in this race. Before I let you go, anybody you'll let shout out for the Reaper Speed Labs 21 Mustang?
I just Reaper Speed Labs. They put another good hot rod underneath me.
Thank you, Chad.
All you guys at ISCA and you guys putting on this broadcast. Thank you.
Thank you, Chad, for taking the time to join us in the broadcast booth. Congrats on a hard-earned stage 1 win. Best of luck in stage 2.
Thank you.
That was Chad Sullivan in that Reaper Speed Labs Mustang doing great work out there. Got that pass done, and more importantly, Brian got it done cleanly. And he said he might have thought about it if it was the last lap, but not at the end of stage number 1. That's what you want to see, right? Drivers showing respect to each other out on the racetrack, and once again, just proves the level of racing that you can get over here at the ISCA.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, these guys definitely have some of the best racing on the service, I would say. I mean, out of my broadcasting career, you know, this is some of the best racing I usually ever get the chance to see, for sure. And everybody has a lot of respect, and that's good that he was willing to do that. I mean, we've seen a couple of, acts of kindness like that tonight already. I mean, with Noah Bitts, letting Corey Cook stay on the lead lap there. I mean, just things like that just shows the level of respect these guys have for one another.
Lights are on the pace car. We get set to go racing once again. Stage 2 will end at the end of lap number 100, right on the dot. As the pace car pulls down and in, we get set to go back racing here for the SugarLands Distillery 225. Sullivan launches good. We are out and away for stage number 2. Already clear, but not as much as Bitts was the last few attempts. It's a race for third. David Phillips second up against Josh Shelton trying to get a run. How about Bitts? The pressuring Chad Sullivan already got to the back bumper, down the back straightaway, nearly moved him into 3.
Yeah, I think Bitts has that short run pace, but Sullivan's going to be able to hopefully hold him off on the long run. I mean, if Bitts gets around him again, is it going to be as easy this next time?
Talk about a pinch and a lunge.
Oh, Ryan Johnson.
Oh, and they somehow all avoid him. Chris Johnson is a lucky, lucky man. Great heads-up drive from the field. A brilliant save from the 48 car. Spun it all by his own, and not a single person hit him as he spun from 7th.
Yeah, that was scary for sure. Chris Johnson, I thought he was dead as he drifted right down in front of Littleton and just lost it and spun. How did Littleton not get into him? That was insane. And then everybody parted the Red Seas to get by him. Nobody came into contact with him. I mean, this track is very narrow. That usually does not happen.
It's that divot. Spun it up on the exit of turn 2. Got loose, overcorrected, and that is a wild slide down the back straightaway. Not a single person makes contact, and I tell you what, Chris Johnson has got to be thanking his lucky stars for that one.
Yeah, usually you see someone spin like that, there is not much car left afterwards.
So under caution for, I believe this is the 5th time today. Correct me if I'm wrong, might be the 4th, but it is the 4th time. As Rob Beldick puts the graphic up to correct me there. 17 laps of 60 so far under the yellow flag. A lot of those were at the start of stage 1, weren't they? I mean, we had those 2 wrecks very, very early on, and then went green from there. You had the stage caution. And of course, this makes caution number 4.
I really feel like the main problems we're having, since it's kind of a pattern we're seeing, cautions early in the stage. I think it's the new tires. I think cold tires, it doesn't handle it as well.
It really doesn't, right? I mean, it's already loose enough as it is on the cold rubber. We've seen that time and time again here at, at even shorter tracks. And even last week at the Homestead Miami Speedway, right? You had those couple of wrecks with guys like Chris Johnson getting all sorts of out of shape, really early on. It's just the product of the racetrack. And then you have a track like this at Nashville where it's just so unbelievably bumpy, especially on corner exit, right? It just makes it completely unpredictable.
Yeah, I almost liken that divot there to how you would handle Lime Rock Park, whenever you're going over that hump. You kind of can't be in the gas fully through there.
Of course, when you're on a restart, though, right, I mean, you always want to make up those spots as early as you possibly can, because the thought kind of crosses into your mind that you might not get the opportunity later on in the run, so you have to make them up now while you're all still bunched up nice and tight, and that's what really triggers incident like that. You just push it a little bit too hard. And I think part of the problem as well is that Chris Johnson was still in the throttle as he was overcorrected, right? He was trying to save the car and keep his foot in it, but it just wasn't going to happen. But as soon as it shot sideways, that's when he decided to fully lock it down.
I think him keeping his foot in it might have saved him damage. It could have went a different way if he had maybe did it differently.
So pace car lights out. Chad Sullivan leads the way from Bitts, from Schade, from Phillips. Justin Levine working his way up from 11th place on the grid. Slowest guy in qualifying. He sits 5th place now, but he has not been necessarily able to get the best of runs out on the track. We look to see potentially how he'll fare throughout the remainder of this race. Pace cars down and in. We're back underway. Bitts this time predicting the launch from Sullivan and almost had him down to the turn number 1, but it's going to be a clear run for Sullivan instead out of 2.
I think at this point in the race, though, Bitts has got a lot of speed. But maybe him being forced to stay behind Sullivan might, save his tires. We've got a battle here. Schaffner and David Phillips once again battling.
And how about for the lead? Bitts up the inside of Sullivan through 1 and 2. The battle for the lead is on. How about a power slide from Noah Bitts out of turn 2? Wants to get this lead early. and want to take it away from Chad Sullivan. So it's going to be a heads-up drag race out to the line. And in that photo finish position, there was just 1 foul separating them at start finish last time by. These guys are evenly matched. The crossover from Sullivan going to send him back down to the inside of 3, but this time Fitz is able to cover him off.
And this has allowed David Phillips to catch up to these guys, but now that they're not side-by-side anymore, I think they're going to start pulling away once again. So we have a cluster of cars back here, all fighting for 6th on back.
Schaubner's in the mix of this, and Levine's looking up the inside of the number 50 car at the head of the train. Just behind, you got Powell and Hyde duking it out for 6th place, excuse me. Still got Schaubner and Levine looking at a tango. Levine looking to work his way up to 4th place, just trying to put himself into another good points position. He's finished well today, and he'll be completely set coming into coming into Richmond in just 2 weeks' time. We're taking that week off for Thanksgiving. Next week, we will not be present at Chicagoland, but the Tucson Sound Art Cup Series running on Saturday nights. We'll definitely be able to be present. You got Josh Schaubner looking to find the inside line. Kenny Powell. He's trying to find the inside line. Schaubner working the top side. Powell pushed up with the apron a little bit, has to back out. That'll give the run to Schaubner out of 4, but how about Powell looking to power back?
Yeah, he was able to get back on the gas, a little bit better than Schaubner there, surprisingly. I think it's because he lifted a little more in the center, so he can get a better drive off. I've been very surprised with Powell's performance. Like I said, he's won multiple races already in officials. I think he's got the ability. He was passing, fighting hard with Justin Levine earlier in this race.
Our short track race, it just makes any kind of battle. You can see a heck of a lot more exciting than you could find on any mile-and-a-half speedway. And Powell still looking to find the inside of Schaubner. They've been side by side now for about 5 laps straight, and Powell he's just not able to clear. He gets such a good run around through the inside line, but he just cannot clear. That is his major issue right now, is him just trying to get clear from the bottom side, but it is not happening. And already you see Levine is just checked out in front of these guys, and this leaves it just a battle between the 24 and the 50.
Yeah, it looks like Roy Hyde's going to get by Brian Johnson. I saw some smoke coming out of Brian Johnson's car there for a second. I'm curious what that was. It might just be he kicked it sideways a little bit too much. But these guys are all battling side by side. This is wild to see. This is short track racing at its finest right here.
Could have been a brake lockup as well. Remember, no ABS in these Gen 6 cars, so he could have been just locking up that left front on corner entry. It's a very bumpy braking zone, and that definitely doesn't make it any more easier. Paul Schmallenberg gets a good run around Brian Littleton further down the order, so got these two side-by-side battles doing like it's a high-speed pace lap, and there you can see Schmallenberg along with Littleton, Manning, Corey Cook, and Brevichinsky just waiting in the wings. All of these guys tucked underneath a blanket. It's only going to take one driver shooting the wrong way around here to kick off a huge mess between all of these drivers involved in this little group.
Yeah, and it's so hard to know what everybody's braking zone is. Some guys brake a little earlier, some guys brake a little later. There's so many different ways you can run this racetrack, and all it takes is one little mistake that could cause a big issue in the parking lot.
But so far, so good. Schaubner looking to maybe work the outside line. Can he take it away from Kenny Powell this time around? Powell got a bad launch out of turn 4 the last time by, but the dive from Powell up the entry is just enough to pull away. And Schaubner, the problem for him is he's able to get on the throttle good, through the middle of the corner, but he always has to back out to hit the outside wall. He has got to get the throttle right through corner exit, and maybe then he'll be able to pull his way around the outside. But for the time being, these two guys being side by side like this, which, by the way, is going on for about 10 laps straight now, it is completely checking everyone up behind them.
It's insane that they've been side by side this long. This is insane. You usually don't see this. It's Kenny Powell losing some momentum there, and you're right, it is checking up a lot of different people here, and it is making a lot easier for these other guys to drive away. Looking at Justin Levine, he's like 4 seconds or something ahead of these guys now because they've been fighting.
I want to point out as well, lap 69 was when Powell got up the inside of Josh Schaubner, and at lap 80, finally Schaubner was able to clear around the outside line. It took 12 laps for that battle to sort itself out. And now Kenny Powell's going to be freight running around the top side. There goes Roy Hyde. Brian Johnson's looking to follow suit as well, as Powell, I think, has finally burned off all the stuff for the inside line. Oh, that's a bit closer with the GT teammates. Nearly puts Brian Johnson at the outside wall. That's going to leave Manning now to charge around the outside of Kenny Powell with 20 laps to go in stage 2.
Yeah, I think racing side by side like that just really was burning their tires up. And I saw Kenny bobble a little bit, hit the apron. I think that's what caused all this, these guys to be able to get around him like that. And he just has not got it back together here.
Still looking tight behind as well. Grabuczynski works his way up past Corey Cook.
We got a race for the lead right now. These guys are almost door banging. Chad Sullivan and Noah Bitts battling hard right now.
Sullivan's caught Bitts, and it's a side-by-side fight for the race lead. Neck and neck down the backstretch. These are two drivers that are not going to be able to break away from each other all race long. This could come down right to the wire. Sullivan won stage 1. He clears at the moment for the lead. You wonder, can he potentially go back-to-back and win stage 2?
I mean, I think he can. I mean, this stage of the race, he's been very strong. I mean, he has a very good long-run car right now. I mean, Noah is really challenging him in the beginning of the runs, but I mean, I just feel like Sullivan, once he gets clear bits, he's going to start driving away now.
And further down in the order, you got Powell looking to still do battle with Schmallenberg at the moment. And Schmallenberg is making the same mistakes that Josh Schaffner made, just getting on the throttle too early. And that loses the run that he otherwise would have had to clear Kenny Powell. This time, though, able to make the pass up on Powell into turn number 3. The 24 car continues to slip, now just struggling to stay inside the top 10. And then the stage points. You got Brian Littleton now on his outside trying to take 10th place away.
Yeah, I think a lot of these guys, when lap 100 comes around, probably going to be wanting to make some adjustments on their race car, or maybe make some adjustments on what they're doing out on the racetrack.
And just now, the entire field is single filed out for the first time in green flag racing since stage 2 began 37 laps ago. That is how long it has taken for them to get themselves fully single filed out in this field. That is insane, and it goes to show just how great these cars are for racing at short tracks like the Nashville Fairgrounds. When you talk about, we were talking about this earlier in the broadcast, right? Well, actually not even earlier, before the broadcast started, because some people were saying that the Gen 6 cars, they don't belong on the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. Well, this race is proving all of them dead wrong.
Yeah, this race, I mean, this car handles very well at this racetrack. I mean, it's just a lot of fun to watch. It's a lot of fun to drive, too. I mean, I'm sure a lot of these guys out here are having a ball as we're watching Chad Sullivan. I'm seeing Chad Sullivan about to put someone a lap down to even leave Matthew McMeekum.
And is already 1.6 seconds clear of Noah Bitts. What a charge from Chad Sullivan. Just work his way up and just blitz past Noah Bitts to take the race lead back, and now puts McMeekin 1 lap down. That is insane. He's not even that far off from that other battle to Wachinski and Roy Hyde at the moment for 11th and 12th.
I mean, Chad Sullivan's showing the best pace out of anybody, really. I mean, he's consistently turning the fastest laps on the racetrack.
Wachinski was really wide there and actually nearly hit the outside wall. Had to actually slow up from the estimated around 110 miles an hour so on corner exit all the way down to about 80 or so by the time he got to turn 2 to avoid hitting that wall.
Yeah, you don't want to slow down that much, that's for sure. I mean, kills your lap time, but you don't want to hit the wall either. That's just, easy to overdrive this racetrack. I mean, just like I was saying earlier, I mean, those guys in front of you, they're carried on a stick. You don't need to go after that carrot. You just need to take care of your race car, turn the laps that you feel like you can turn without, wrecking the car.
Oh, absolutely. You just got to, do what you can to keep the car out of the wall. Because at a track like this, a killed lap time is better than a killed car, I think is what some guys would say, especially, the likes of unfortunate drivers so far today, like Clayton Hoffman and Chris Johnson. It's worth noting, all this action has been taking place over a 17-car field. There's estimated to be 19 at the start of the day, and John Mullins was set to start 13th place. He never gridded up, and he still has not entered the racetrack. Mark Sanchez, same story. He never joined up into the racetrack, and then you got guys like Clayton Hoffman who were already wrecked out at the end of lap number 1, which was so unfortunate for him. I know Chris Johnson is 27 laps down. He is also out of the race now. It's unfortunate to see, so many guys having issues this early, having to miss out on the great racing that we're seeing here.
Yeah, definitely a surprise why you don't see much participation at this racetrack. I mean, I think some guys, this is a tough track. I think some of them may be scared.
Coming to 3 laps to go this time by, and stage number 2, Sullivan still has 3 laps to navigate, but he is over 2 seconds clear from Noah Bitts, and he is consistent at the moment, like 2/10 or so quicker than Noah Bitts consistently every single lap.
Oh yeah, he's faster than everybody in the whole field. I mean, he clearly has one of the best setups out there. I mean, and is able to put into performance to make it work. He's like Pac-Man out here. He's just eating all these guys, putting them a lap down.
And up to some of the Precision Race Setup Shop crew, it looks like Corey Cook had a massive slide on turn 4 and clapped the inside wall. That broke his suspension. He is down pit road and out of the race now. So Corey Cook is no longer going to be a factor in how this race could play out. For Chad Sullivan, he's going to come around stage 2 and he'll sweep the stages. Just has to go for the race now. Out of turn 4, Chad Sullivan wins stage number 2.
Yeah, definitely a great job of Chad Sullivan. He deserves this. I mean, he looks like he's going to sweep this race. But I was looking a little bit further back. Had a little bit of issues with some lap traffic. I saw Matthew McMeekin and or Justin Levine was trying to get by David Phillips and kind of got slowed down and messed up a little bit there and almost had some contact with Matthew McMeekin. So luckily that did not happen, but made it very interesting.
Stage 2 complete. We'll take a quick step away. We'll be back with more in just a few moments.
ButtKicker. Feel what you've been missing. Get yours today at TheButtKicker.com and be sure to use our 20% discount promo code ISCA20.
Back live here from the SugarLands Distillery 225 of the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. Pit stop's already complete. This could be a very quick caution here. We'll bring up Brian Britt, your stage 2 runner-up, to see if he can give us a bit of a chit-chat up here in the broadcast booth. And Noah, you put up a really good fight in both stages, but it looks like Chad's just got the long-run car.
He definitely has a better long-run car than I do, but I have quite a bit better short-run car. I just need to try and get in front of him, save my tires, and just pray that I hold him off for a while.
So it's safe to say that you're going to be hoping for a few more yellow flags to fall your way, so long as you're not one of them, I'd imagine, in stage 3 here?
Yeah, it could be me at any point. I've already touched the wall twice, so I got a little bit of damage. But yeah, yellows would help me out. An extra one, about 20 laps to go. Maybe I could do something there.
Well, in that case, fingers crossed that you have yourself with a solid run throughout the rest of the night. Hopefully, we can talk to you at least in victory lane, if not on the podium later on tonight. Before I let you go, anybody you'd like to shout out for that Rubbermaid 87?
I've just been working hard in the practice sessions and trying to get it dialed in for today, so thanks for talking to me. I'll hopefully talk to you at the end of the race.
Thank you, Noah, for taking the time to join us up here in the broadcast booth. Congrats on the stage 2 runner-up. Best of luck in stage 3. So Noah Bitts, runner-up in both stages 1 and 2, was your pole sitter on the night. So far, though, looks like he's putting together a much better performance than we're used to seeing for him in the race. Lights are out on the pace car. Like I said, very, very quick caution here from Nashville at the end of stage 2. Pace car is off. Chad Sullivan, the Noah Bitts, who will have the upper hand at the end of 5 laps into this run. Sullivan is clear. Levine giving a bit of a nudge to Noah Bitts as they Cross start finish, a bit of the boost he might need down to the turn number 1. Bitts is clear. And Levine just pulls around David Phillips II for the 3rd position. Bitts trying to run down Sullivan.
Yeah, Justin Levine has been working his way through this field this whole race. I mean, so could he be a factor here for the podium at the end? I mean, he's already in 3rd. We haven't really seen him, really tussle with these guys up here, though, yet. So what does he have for them? That's going to be a question.
It's going to be a very important question that these guys are going to have to consider. How do you want to play this run out? This could be the longest run we've seen so far on the day. Could go as long as 115 more laps from this point on. You see Noah Bitts still trying to look around Sarah Sullivan. There you see Levine also trying to poke around David Phillips II just behind them. How about a run that time in the middle of 3 and 4 for Noah Bitts? Almost got to the back of Sullivan. Now trying to find the outside line through 1 and 2.
Yeah, he's trying to find any line that he can get a little bit of clean air on that nose to give him a little bit more downforce. Even though this is a low downforce package, any amount of air on that nose is going to help.
I mean, you heard it from him. He's got a good short run car, so he's got the long run car. He's hoping for a few more cautions fall his way so he can kind of be able to work his way a bit further up, maybe take the lead away. And we've seen it before, right? If he can get past Chad Sullivan, it's not an easy task for Sullivan to try to get him back.
No, definitely not. I mean, it's an ordeal for him. I mean, we've seen it time and time again with Chad Sullivan, not being able to get past Noah Bitts once he gets by him. I mean, it takes him multiple laps to even work up the ability to do that. But, I mean, I don't know, though. Looking at this field, everybody's pretty much single file. You're talking about a caution, maybe splitting this thing up. It might not happen.
Travis Manning with a major slide out of turn 4 down the front straightaway. He managed to keep it out of the wall, but that's one to get another look at. Shot all 4 tires up, kept it on the outside wall, then kept it out of the inside wall. An incredible save for Manning on lap 113 out of turn number 4. That was out of 2 already. It was out of shape, Brian.
Yeah, good save on him. I mean, to avoid all the other traffic around. I mean, it was literally a minefield around him of other cars.
It's a fantastic save from Manning. Went from top to bottom and keeps it together. Trying to see if he can maybe work his way back up into the top 10 now to get around Brian Littleton. You can see already Sullivan pulling away a bit from Noah Bitts, and the long run setup already started to kick in. Noah Bitts, if he wants to get past him, he has to do it within the first 10 laps, I feel, or he's just not going to have any speed for him.
Well, another thing we got to keep in mind, too, I mean, Sullivan, Bitts hasn't been the only one considering his short run and long run speed. I mean, Chad Sullivan could be making adjustments as he goes here and is, trying to balance that car out to where it's good in both the long and short.
See Brian Littleton trying to go up against Greg Wychinski this time by just behind them. Travis Manning fending off Roy High for 11th. And C still trying to reel his way up to Brian Johnson just up the road from the men. Of course, heated up that rubber about 12 laps ago. Get a good run on Littleton here. Littleton going defensive against Brian Johnson. The 4 car has an opening through 3 and 4 this time by. Gets up the inside of Littleton, but it's not able enough. He's not able to properly send a lunge up into the inside of 1.
Yeah, what really gave Johnson that opportunity, it looked like Littleton had a big wiggle up on him. As he is able to stay in front, but still kind of running a little bit in the middle groove, giving Johnson opportunity to get low here. Travis Manning sees those openings. He wants to take them for himself. Oh, getting real close there, Johnson and Littleton. Littleton out of shape. There goes Travis Manning.
And Travis Manning alt F4 before he even hit the inside wall. Didn't want to bring a caution out. Manning calls it quits mid-race, mid-spin, as a matter of fact. And Travis Manning could have brought a caution out, but instead, he stayed green.
I got to give it to him on the lightning fast reflexes to do that. I don't think I could do that fast.
I remember I saw that happen once in a blue moon a long time ago, and I remember the driver saying that he literally slammed his keyboard trying to get to those buttons quick enough to make sure he wouldn't bring out a yellow flag early on. But I'm surprised. I mean, usually Travis Manning is a guy to stick it out for the tough run, but I don't know, might have just had it up at the Nashville Fairgrounds. Becomes, I believe, what's going to be our 5th retirement now of the night. At the moment, you have got yourself about 13 cars still running out there on the racetrack. Johnson up the inside with Wychinski. Here comes Littleton trying to find some speed.
Yeah, it looks like Brian Johnson going to be able to hopefully start pulling away from these guys. Greg Wachinski's got some front end damage. I'm curious if he can pull these guys up.
He's Lewis in the front end quite a bit on corner entry. I'm starting to notice here. It looks like he's just plowing understeer, and that's what's kind of hurting him at the moment. Littleton up the inside, and Wachinski can't fight back. The 28 Chevrolet up the inside line, but Wachinski able to kind of get the run off the corner. Clearing it out down on the horsepower, he's still hitting the rim limit just like the 28 cars. Oh, Littleton up the outside makes contact with Wachinski.
Yeah, a little bit of door banging going on right there. I'm sure Wachinski does not appreciate that.
And Littleton already issuing the apology, and it's a very easy thing to do at any short track, right? You just go down, get a bit too aggressive, you clip the apron, and then from there, you're spearing up into the guy above you. You have no idea how to slow it down.
Looks like Littleton's going to win that fight. Now Wachinski's got to worry about Roy Hyde.
This would be the battle here for the final spot inside the top 10 for Greg Wachinski. Who no doubt is definitely hoping to see if he can maybe hang on to a top 10. You got Roy Hyde just waiting behind them in the wings, and it's going to be a close fight between these two guys. You got yourself about 2 tenths maybe separating these two drivers. Wachinski, by the way, still trying to close on to Brian Johnson. He's loose! Oh, and somehow keeps it out the inside wall.
Wow, that was crazy. We've been seeing a lot of good saves here tonight, that's for sure. But one thing about this, you know, these guys that are at the rear of this pack here, they're in danger. I mean, Chad Sullivan's coming, and he is doing some monster laps. I mean, still in the 18-second range. I mean, 18.846 last time by. He's 2 tenths faster than Noah Bitts right now, and even faster than, you know, people like Greg Wachinski, Roy Hyde.
Talking about we've gone from having 17 cars to just 13 now on the track, and only 11 of them are on the lead lap at the moment. Still so much left to go. Chad Sullivan, he's now catching up to Matthew McMeekin in the number 41 Chevrolet, and we'll find the inside line. McMeekin now 2 down.
I'm telling you, I feel like Sullivan made a change to that car. You know, just a little adjustment, maybe some air pressure or something like that has really made this thing better on the short run. I mean, Noah Bitts was a non-factor pretty much on, you know, to this whole stage. I mean, it hasn't been like that before. So I feel like Chad Sullivan has made some changes. What do you think, Noah?
He would have had to, right? I mean, you take a look at how good he was in Stage 1 alone, but then how dominant he was in Stage 2, right? I mean, Stage 1, he struggled to get past Noah Bitts. The entire stage was about matching pace, and even then, just barely got by him to take the Stage 1 victory. But then for Stage 2, as soon as it was clear, he found himself almost 3 seconds out in front in just 20 laps.
Yeah, I think Sullivan definitely has the best car here. And you know, one thing about it, you could even have the best car, but that team's not happy. They're going to still be working on that machine and getting it even better.
He's in the battle for 12 to 13, just behind your race leader. That's between Matthew McMeekin and Craig Johnson. Both drivers 2 laps down. This is at the moment the closest battle on track, just in behind. McMeekin, whoa, sliding out, and now that's going to put a very quick end to that battle as McMeekin just keeps that out of both walls, outside then inside, and Noah Bitts finds his way through to split up the fight. And that leaves us potentially with what could end up being the longest green flag ride we've had all race so far.
I think Noah Bitts probably needs something to calm his nerves, maybe some hot green tea or something, because I bet he just probably got pretty scared. I'd hate to see a heart rate monitor on him as he gets real loose off that last corner.
And you saw Craig Johnson think about going up the inside and potentially take a spot back, but of course that wouldn't have been for position, wouldn't have been able to get a lap back, so he decided to just tuck it in line and kind of hold it off a little bit. He's faster than McMeekin behind. He knows it. He just needs Bitts to kind of get himself sorted. And thank you for Noah Bitts as well, as Craig Johnson is going to potentially pull away for the 13th place driver just behind him.
And there's a battle going to be probably forming here shortly, as I see Josh Schaffner and Paul Smallberg maybe starting to catch up here to Kenny Powell. They do have the pace to do it.
Looking at the last few laps here for just a quick moment, Kenny Powell has been It's kind of going back and forth, hasn't it? Powell's been quicker a couple of laps. He's been slower a couple laps. This last lap, he was slower than a tenth of a second than these two drivers. And similar story this time around. Paul Smallberg faster by about 0.08 of a second over Kenny Powell. So the gap is slowly coming down. Josh Schaffner is still been flowing a little bit. He's kind of going back and forth on the spectrum at the moment. There's going to be a question if the 72 car can catch up to the 24.
Yeah, I think another one really to watch is Brian Johnson back there, that 4 car in 8th place. He's been turning consistently faster laps than these guys. But now Kenny Powell's starting to rocket away here. 19.2 last time by. That is very quick. I mean, faster than about everybody in front of him except for the leader.
Goes to show if you have one bad lap, it can take you a little bit to kind of get back into the groove. But once you do, you can just be an absolute bull and then just shoot away with it. And on cue, Smollenberg slower by a tenth of a second than his last lap through as well. So now starting to pull away. Smollenberg under fire here, just a bit of shot potentially.
Yeah, I'm not surprised there with Smollenberg though. I mean, I've seen, just a few laps ago, I mean, he hit the wall. So, I mean, he's compounded a little bit of damage on that machine. I mean, it definitely adds up after a while.
It certainly does. So, as we continue to take these laps away, it is now 83 laps to go. How about we take a quick break here? We'll ride on board with Josh Schaffner for a few laps as he tries to run down Paul Smollenberg in the battle for 6th. And there's the move. Smollenberg sideways out of 4, and Schaffner goes through for the battle for 6th and 7th place. You saw it up front. McMeekin was playing spoiler for quite a while in the number 50 car, and now, because of that mistake, Smollenberg loses 2 spots. 1 to Schaffner, and then 1 off of 2 again to Brian Johnson.
Yeah, Brian Johnson's got a lot of speed right now, so I wouldn't be surprised to see him go up there, maybe challenge Josh Schaffner. As you were mentioning, Matthew McMeekin is definitely hurting these guys a lot. I mean, he definitely has pace, but, kind of holding these guys back in a lot of ways.
And that's what I find interesting, right, is that's what's making this battle close on up. It was being set to potentially spread apart, but as soon as they caught McMeekin, that's when this all started to kick off. And it was that loose one from Smollenberg that saw him lose 2 spots. Johnson find himself another one up here. Schaffner's going to go down the inside of McMeekin in turn 3. This is the 3rd time, though, he's attempted to overtake the 41 car in the last few laps. And he might get it here out of 4. And in fact, he does. Brian Johnson did about that 41 car is not wanting to get out of the way, is he?
No, I mean, you would think you'd see Johnson coming through, too. You'd be like, okay, let me just stay out of the way here. But no, he is not getting out of the way.
Johnson wasn't having it, though. He threw that one down the inside before McMeekin had a chance to react.
Yeah, I'm not sure why, you know, you would do stuff like that. But, I mean, you know, you can't really judge it, I guess, in the moment, considering these guys have adrenaline going. But, I mean, being 2 laps down, you just, I don't know, it's just not worth it fighting hard with these guys like that.
See Smallberg looking to pressure McMeekin up to the outside wall as well. You know, almost turned the meshes, the end of turn number 1. So Smallberg goes through, and I think now we could see this battle finally starting to split apart as, oh, McMeekin's going to fight this one. He actually tried to lunge around Smallberg. He's racing with him. I find this interesting.
Yeah, and look at that. Back in the rear view, they got Chad Sullivan coming up on him. So McMeekin's definitely hurting these guys a lot. Going to make it easier for Sullivan to put him a lap down.
Yeah, I think that's why he's doing it. He doesn't want to go 3 laps down. I think that's why he's fighting so hard here. He's trying to hold on to time.
I don't know how easy it's going to be to fight with Chad Sullivan. He's running a half a second faster than these guys, or, you know, 3/10 faster than these guys.
Well, it's worth noting that at the moment, McMeekin is only down 1 lap, right? Sorry, check that. He is down 2 laps already, so this would put him 3 down. I thought he was fighting potentially for a lucky dog spot. That's not even the case for that. He is trying to, you know, just stay 2 down, not 3.
Oh, I don't think he's going to have much of a choice here. Chad Sullivan is right up on him now.
It is worth noting as well that the pit window is technically open at the moment for all of these guys out there. And they have been out there for 57 laps now. The fuel window is roughly 106 laps. You have 65 remaining. So at this point, you're going to see everybody coming down pit road if a caution comes out, right? And this also means that this race could get kicked into high gear if another caution comes out, because that's going to make it a straight dash in the end. No pit stops required.
Yeah, that definitely would make things very interesting as Chad Sullivan puts Matthew McMeekin another lap down. I think these guys are probably going to, you know, some guys maybe try to split this thing in half. I don't know, though. I mean, I feel like the chance of a caution coming out is still there, so some of these guys probably might run their tank out.
I want to put into perspective how far in front Chad Sullivan is, because the graphic on the left just does not do it justice. He is no bit a lap back there. It's full speed devil. He's in pit road, so that's going to extend for sure now.
Yeah, so a little bit different strategies going on here. Some guys are going to try to split this in half. Because, I mean, tires are worth it when you think about it. I mean, the amount of lap time you get on new tires.
So No Bits into pit road. Is there going to be any dramas for him? Does not appear to be so. So No Bits taken 4. I think that's a very obvious choice for himself. I mean, he's been out there for about 60 laps almost as it is. How far down is he in time? Can he stay only 1 lap down, or will he go down 2? Just exiting, there's McMeekin. I think he is going to be down 2 laps. I think that's the total that this is going to be here. So not the best news for No Bits, but the good news is he's got everybody else that's got to come down as well. He just has to hope, I'd imagine, that a caution doesn't come out, because in that case, he'd be trapped 1 lap down.
Yeah, he definitely doesn't need that. That's one of the biggest, you know, risks about pitting here under green. I mean, you're going to go multiple laps down, and if a caution does come out, I mean, it is just a race killer. I mean, how do you get those laps back? You know?
He can. Now, what's important to note is he's got Chad Sullivan just in front of him. If he puts himself 1 lap down, then he could stay out if a caution comes out and take the lead lap back that way. Or just take it by passing up guys for the lucky dog spots. There is no Bits. There is Chad Sullivan. And it'll be a pass to get a lap back. Bits defends, and Noah Bits is going to be able to take one up the inside of Chad Sullivan. Meanwhile, Brian Johnson and Paul Smollenberg both come down to pit road. So more drivers opting for pit stops. Levine also coming in. This is the time to do it. It would seem everybody looks to maybe be splitting it in half.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it would be worth it if you know, like, a caution's going to come out later, but you don't know that. So, I mean, you kind of have to do what you think will work in the long run if a caution doesn't come out.
And there you see McMeekin now down to the pit road as well. Stopping in his box, nice and steady. Still waiting on the leader portion.
Our leader just came down pit road, Chad Sullivan.
I think reacting to the undercut, knows that Levine can gain Noah Bits, can gain so much time on the fresh rubber. Doesn't want to lose that time. He is coming in early here to keep a multi-second lead.
Yeah, I don't blame him for that. I mean, good call for him. I mean, he's within the window. I mean, it's splitting it in half. I think it's a safe bet to do that. As Noah Bitts, I do believe, is now on the lead lap as after he passed David Phillips there, who has yet to pit.
And Sullivan, he's out of pit road, and for Noah Bitts, he is still several seconds behind. There is Bitts. That is the gap for the net race lead at the moment. And now Sullivan's got just a couple of lap pressure tires. This is terrible news for Noah Bitts, who tried the undercut. It has not worked. Sullivan was just way too far in front, and he reacted too quickly for it to be of any use for him.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate for Bitts. I mean, like he said, though, when we talked to him in the interview, he said that he was, expected maybe a caution 20 laps to go. That would really save his day because we know his car's good in that, period of time.
So this is the battle for the on-track second place at the moment. Of course, this could cycle out to about 7 to 3 by the time all the pit stops are said and done. This is Kenny Powell versus Josh Schaffner looking to tango between themselves. And this could be an interesting fight because neither the drivers out there to come down pit road yet. But beside them, there's Brian Littleton exiting pit road as he came down for his set of pit stops. At the moment, we're just waiting on 5 drivers to come down pit road. Those guys are top 3, Phillips, Powell, and Schaffner, as well as guys that are now, I believe, 1 lap down, but they're going to be multiple laps down by the end of this. Those guys are Roy Hyde and Greg Wyszynski.
I mean, this could be a great call for, guys like David Phillips, Kenny Powell, and Josh Schaffner. If a caution does come out late, this could be golden for them. Oh, little contact there with that thing with Mika McKinney Powell.
That is the classic case of guys on old tires new tires misjudging how fast they're actually going to be. McMeekin tucked it in the line because he thought he would be able to wait around for the front straightaway, but then didn't realize how slow Kenny Powell would be on corner exit. So that is huge news for McMeekin, who's now got a little bit of front end damage. Powell's got some rear end damage. Lotus is up the inside, but Schaffner was not able to capitalize as a result of that one.
Yeah, definitely surprising there. Schaffner just was not in position. As these guys have decided to stay out the long haul. I mean, it looks like, once you decide on something, you kind of have to stick with it. I think these guys are in that position right now.
Roy Hyde has come down pit road. Dude 4 to come down for pit stops. There you can see David Phillips the second. And he's losing time to Kenny Powell. This is the battle for the on-track race lead. Not cycle through to be that, though, when all of these pit stops kind of cycle themselves through and we get the running order back into the natural order of things. So Phillips leads from Powell, from Schaffner. You got Chad Sullivan just in behind those guys, and this is now only 4 seconds behind for the on-track race lead. So what a charge for Sullivan. Might be able to retake that race lead before they even come down to pit road, in which case it's almost guaranteed that Schaffner and Powell will be losing at least 2 laps.
I mean, that just shows you, the importance of new tires and how good Chad Sullivan's car is. I mean, those new tires are night and day difference. I mean, we're seeing these, leader last time by David Phillips turned a 20.1 versus what Chad Sullivan turned an 18.7. I mean, that's a night and day.
Powell alongside with Schaffner into turn number 3. And neither driver coming down pit road. Powell is yet to yield. Schaffner trying to find the outside line. But so far, it is nothing doing for the number 50 car. Powell still struggling to hold the inside. There's Sullivan. Dices his way through. Sullivan back up into fourth place, from Kenny Powell. And now you can see Sullivan looking to run down Schaffner just in front of him.
Yeah, run down. He's making this look easy. He is cutting through these guys like butter as he's now chasing down David Phillips, soon to retake his lead. I mean, what a performance from Chad Sullivan. I mean, you got to hats off to him.
And out of turn number 4, down the front straightaway, looking up to Chad Sullivan, up the inside of Phillips. Chad Sullivan back to the race lead before these guys even come down pit road. That is how quick Sullivan is at the moment. What a dominating performance we have seen from Sullivan in stage number 3. And you see guys just behind still looking to tango. You got Powell and Schaffner still battling down the order. This is now the battle for third place on track, and Powell still not willing to yield.
Yeah, these guys are definitely out for the long haul. But one thing we got to watch too, Chad Sullivan, we saw him come out in front of Noah Bitts by a couple, like a second and a half. Now Bitts is 4 seconds back from him, so his strategy just did not work at all. He has got to have a caution.
Schaffner is coming in for his pit stop now as Bitts is up the inside of Kenny Powell. What a day it has been for guys like Kenny Powell and Noah Bitts, Josh Schaffner, Sullivan, all of them. This has just been a wild race so far, and it's not over yet. A late race caution could kick everything into high gear and flip this race on its head and then some.
100%. I mean, I know some guys would be grunting and groaning out there. Some guys would be celebrating and throwing their hands in the air for caution came out. Because, it could change everything. I mean, Sullivan has been the car to beat, but, on a short run, can Noah Bitts mount an offense if a caution does come out? Could some of these guys get a lap back, maybe get back into this thing? I know Kenny Powell wants a caution desperately right now because, like you mentioned, he's set to at least go 2 laps down. You see Josh Schaffner went 2 laps down.
And that was to be expected for Josh Schaffner. You already saw guys like Chad Sullivan losing just under 2 laps when they came down, and Sullivan had 9 seconds to work with. Back down to guys like Noah Bitts. So Justin Levine, for guys like Josh Schaffner, it was to be expected they'd be going down at least 2 laps and potentially a third as well. That has not been the case, thank goodness. Schaffner remains only 2 down at the moment. It could be potentially 3 of those. Sullivan manages to work his way back around and maybe lap it one more time. And I mean, he just put him 2 laps down. You can see Schaffner's going to be eager to try to maybe take 1 lap back, put himself only 1 down, which could put him back on the lead lap here if another caution came out.
Yeah, it could very well be the case. But look at this shock right here. Justin Levine, champion, got put a lap down just now by Chad Sullivan.
Unbelievable. It goes to show just how fast Levine has been tonight. I mean, what a charge. Sullivan has just been on fire. Levine is one of those guys who we're used to seeing up front so consistently. Chad Sullivan, though, has been slowly working his way up and up throughout the order, though, hasn't he? He has not been willing to give up in the slightest.
No, I mean, I think that, we're going to see some big things from Chad Sullivan in next season. I mean, just looking at the speed that this guy is showing here. I mean, but it might just pertain to certain tracks. I mean, this is a track that some people don't like we mentioned before. I mean, this is one of those tracks to where, certain people, it's almost like a, people say beer is an acquired taste. I mean, Chad Sullivan, apparently Nashville Fairgrounds is an acquired taste.
Kenny Powell is in for service. He is now the second to last driver that we need to see come on down. The last one out there, David Villas II, who is doubling as the 3rd driver and the last driver on the lead lap. And you know what's crazy about this? This means that when everything is cycled through, there will be 2 cars on the lead lap. And that is from guys that have all completed their pit stops.
Yeah, it's rare you see that, or there are only 2 cars on the lead lap, especially in ISCA. I mean, think about that. You don't see that very often. Because ISCA is known for the talent level of all the drivers out here. I mean, such talent, you don't expect to see only 2 people on the lead lap.
And as the laps get set to tick away, 30 laps to go, coming to 29. Let's take a quick step away. We'll be back with the final 25 or so laps from the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway and the conclusion of the good old SugarLands Distilling 225.
Getting into this particular business, it was very important for us to make sure that we were putting out the most authentic product. SugarLands Distilling Company is a fantastic distillery in downtown Gatlinburg, Tennessee. Our goal is to spread across the country. We would love your help in doing that.
ButtKicker, Feel what you've been missing. Get yours today at TheButtKicker.com and be sure to use our 20% discount promo code ISCA20.
Battles on for net P6, on track P7. Brian Littleton has been losing ground to Josh Schaffner. Lap car Roy Hyde didn't make it easy, and Schaffner up the inside of the 28. He'll find his way through and poke ahead. That'll be for 6th place when Phillips comes into pit.
Yeah, shocked that David Phillips has managed to stay out here this long. I mean, I have to think that he's running on fumes right now.
Estimated fuel run was 106 laps. He's been out there for 102 so far. I think Phillips has been hoping for a caution flag to come out, but that has not been the case. Stage 3 has shockingly been the first stage to run caution-free so far. And I think that's a huge surprise to all of us, right? But we did not think that would happen. It almost wasn't, though. Travis Manning nearly brought out the caution, but he managed to Alt F4 with the fastest Alt F4 you have ever seen in the West, and he was able to get out of here real quick before the yellow flag could have been thrown.
Yeah, I mean, I have never seen someone do that fast. I mean, I've been on iRacing for a few years now and never seen that as wow. I mean, definitely some good sportsmanship there. He didn't want to bring a caution out. He didn't want to affect the results of this race, as we now have only 2 people on the lead lap. Even though Phillips is not pitted yet, now only 2 still on the lead lap. And Justin Levine, even if Phillips did not have to pit, I think Levine might still catch him.
Let's talk points here real quick while there's a bit of a lull in the action. We wait for Phillips to come on down to his pit stop. We know the battles for 1st and 2nd place are sorted. It is 60 points back over that from Clayton to Schaffner in the battle for 2nd place, and we've already established Levine is going to be our champion at the end of the night. For 4th place, though, the battle is far from over. Brian Littleton is only 1 point up from David Phillips II, who currently runs 3rd in this race. Souza is only 5 points back from Phillips. Of course, Souza is going to be losing a lot of ground here in this race because he is not present here tonight. And Phillips, you wonder if he'll lose out on Brian Littleton, because Littleton, he is a bit further down in 8th place, but Phillips has yet to come on down to pit. He's going to be going down a couple of laps here. That battle could also be sorted at the end of the night.
Yeah, I think it will be. I mean, Phillips has to pit. There's no way you can save that much gas. I think it's going to be any time now. Look at that. He's going down to the bottom. I think he's starting to run low.
109 laps in, and finally David Phillips has to bail, comes down pit road, and he is going to be losing all the time in the world. It has fallen apart for him so far. Kenny Powell, meanwhile, has worked his way up and past Brian Littleton on this last lap, as well as Phillips comes in for his service, and he'll be bringing it out likely 3, if not 4 laps down.
Yeah, that's definitely unfortunate for him. I mean, you know, that's the nature of racing, though. You gamble. I mean, it is gambling in a lot of ways when you stay out that long. You think a caution's going to come out, and a lot of times it works that way, to where you think a caution's going to come out, well, guess what? It's not going to. And I think we had that same thing happen to us up here in the broadcast booth.
13.3 seconds separate first from second place. And to put that into perspective, Chad Sullivan exiting turn 4, Bits still going through 1 and 2. It is that is how far away they are. You can almost see them in the same camera shot. As Bits is entering turn 2, Sullivan exits turn 2. Sorry, excuse me. As Bits enters turn 3, Sullivan exits turn 2. My brain's starting to slip here a little bit, it would seem, but I mean, that is just a shocking performance. So rarely do we see such a dominating performance from anybody on a short track, especially in the ISCA where the racing is usually so closely packed together.
I mean, consistently, Chad Sullivan has been the fastest car on the racetrack. I mean, this whole entire race, he has been the fastest car. And you can see it. I mean, he's put most of the guys even 2 laps down. I mean, it's crazy to see this level of performance. I mean, this one should go down in the history books. They can't take this one away from him. I mean, this is a difficult track. And when you can win here, you got a lot of talent.
It is his race to lose with 8 laps less than that now remaining. I mean, you talk about a dominating performance. I mean, this has just been a masterclass. 15 seconds clear now of Noah Bits. He could potentially lap him here before this race is over if Bits doesn't get the hammer down.
I mean, yeah, look at Chad Sullivan's last lap, 19.2 versus Noah Bits' 19.7. That's a half a second. You know, that is crazy.
It really is. I mean, there has just been nothing that has been able to stop Sullivan so far, and nothing will stop him shy of some kind of technical failure, I would say. I mean, with 5 laps to go, the only way at this point that Bits closes up is if he reels in 3 seconds per lap. That is impossible to do on a short track.
I mean, he would need Sullivan to run into some problems with some lap traffic, but it just hasn't been the case. I mean, Sullivan's negotiated through lap traffic better than everybody.
And Phyllis has worked his way past Machinsky.
Oh, big wiggle there from Chad Sullivan. He almost lost it just now.
Oh, boy. So it just goes to show it isn't over just yet. Sullivan still has time to make that mistake, but 3 laps to go. He doesn't even have to push. I mean, just coast, really, and you're going to be good to go.
Yeah, well, we know how these drivers are. They don't ever not push.
I'm still in complete awe that we have been able to see, such a strong run. It goes to show that, you can really do anything in this series when you put your mind to it. I mean, he has just been laser focused all day long. A completely different ball game. I mean, Sullivan comes into this series brand new this season, and now he gets set to potentially lock it on out. White flag is in the air. The race is official. For Chad Sullivan, he won stage 1 and he won stage 2. He has over 15 seconds, 3/4 of a lap, back to his only competition, Noah Bits, and coming around turn number 4, it's his first win in his ISCA career, and Sullivan will take the checkered flag for the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway to round out the SugarLands Distilling 225.
What a win for Chad Sullivan. First win, too. I mean, got to be a proud day for him.
Unbelievable. Just unreal. You cannot get much more of a dominant performance than that, about 2 seconds shy of lapping the entire field. So Sullivan gets set to burn it down on the front straightaway. Let's take a look at your official post-race results for the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. Chad Sullivan takes a victory by over 17 seconds from Noah Bits at the end of the day in a dominating performance. And for Justin Levine, it is a 3rd place finish and another championship. He won the Super Cup Series season, and he wins the 4th season of 2021. It goes to Justin Levine here tonight from the fairgrounds. Brian Johnson rounds out in 4th place, 1 lap down. Schaffner down in 5th, with Paul Schmallenberg down in 6th. Kenny Powell is 7th, with Littleton in 8th. David Phillips the 2nd, and Greg Wachinski round out the top 10.
11th is going to be Roy Hyde. 12th, Matthew McMeekin. 13th, Craig Johnson. 14th, Travis Manning. 15th, Corey Cook. 16th, Chris Johnson. 17th, Clayton Hoffman. 18th, John Mullins. And 19th, Mark Sanchez, which did not, I don't believe, make any laps here tonight.
Unbelievable stuff here tonight. So we'll see if we can maybe dial up every single one of your drivers, and we'll kick it off with race winner Chad Sullivan. Well, Chad, I have to know. I need to know who your dealer is. I know you've got someone out there. You had to have bribed somebody to lift some kind of engine restriction on your car, because you struggled a bit to get the turn in stage one, but then you took it and ran with it.
Man, that setup just fits me, I guess, or fit my style. And Reaper put a really good setup underneath me this week. I tweaked a few things and got it to where I felt comfortable, and it just had really good drive off and was stable.
So your first win on this season, if I'm not mistaken, as well, your first win of the ISCA, that has to feel good, especially on a track where passing and getting wins can be so hard to come by.
Most definitely. It's tough to win in this league. It is, the competition is stiff, and I guess that's why we're all here to run. I mean, if you can hang with guys like Justin Levine and Noah and Hoffman, man, it's really tough. Makes you a better driver. Strive to be better.
So you originally had only led 23 laps coming into the day. You leave this race with that laps led counter now well into the triple digits. I'd imagine well over 100, possibly close to 200 today. Do you plan to maybe make that 200 and more over Richmond in 2 weeks' time?
Oh, that would be fantastic. I love short tracks for whatever reason. They fit me well. I don't know. They usually do well. I think one of the races in ISCA, I think it was at... I can't remember. I think I won one other race, if I ain't mistaken, but it was a short track also. If you go back and look at my record, the short tracks not being wrecked, I've done really well at those tracks.
Well, the fingers crossed. I have a good run coming into the season finale at Richmond in just 2 weeks' time. Well, before we let you go here, Chad, anybody else you'd like to shout out for the number 21?
Just to Boyd Hogan for, taking the young rookie on, and Reaper Speed Labs, all the guys I run with and help me out. And thank Noah and Justin for pushing me, and you guys in the booth, and Kenny for putting all this on.
And thank you, Chad, for joining us up here in the booth. We'll let you go from here. Congratulations on a hard-earned win, and best of luck in the season finale in 2 weeks.
Thank you, sir.
That was Chad Sullivan bringing it home for the Reaper Speed Labs 4 Mustang. 17 seconds clear of Noah Bitts. And with that, I'll pass our second-place finisher down to you, Brian.
Thank you, Nolan. Mr. Noah Bitts, great performance here tonight. I mean, only other driver to finish on the lead lap. I mean, do you feel like you could have made some changes to that car to maybe make it a little bit better, or do you feel like you were stuck in that second place?
Yeah, I probably would have been stuck in second place, but if I wouldn't have hit the wall a couple times, that would have helped me out a lot. You wouldn't know it, but just looking at my car, but I actually had a little over 30 seconds damage, even though it looks almost perfect. I feel like I probably should have just let off there in the last lap and let him lap me, and just that way he could have got the whole thing done. But you guys got to bring his car in through tech or something after this, because that was ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree totally. I mean, that's like the T-Rex car that Jeff Gordon used to have. They needed to go ahead and ban whatever you're using. But great job to you, Noah. I mean, do you think, we know you might have had a shot if a caution that came out there, but I mean, you guys had such a long green run. Did you see that kind of like slipping away to where you thought, hey, this is going to go green?
Yeah, I just kind of got into the mindset where I was just going to try and save my tires as much as I could. Try not to hit the wall anymore, and just try and save some energy if we did have a restart at the end. But it's tough doing lap after lap like that. I got zoned out a couple times, and it's so bumpy on the backstretch. It's a hard track.
For sure, and definitely a hard track this week. And I know in 2 weeks' time we're going to have another hard track with Richmond. How are you feeling about that?
I feel good about Richmond. So I think I did pretty well last time. I might have gotten a podium. I don't remember. Maybe Kenny took third away from me there with a couple laps to go, if I remember right. But yeah, I'm excited for Richmond.
Well, we're definitely excited to see what you can do. I mean, such a great qualifier, that's for sure. You've gotten probably more poles than almost everybody out there in ISCA. But who can we shout out tonight after that second place finish?
Well, I've been running VRS setups, and their qualifying setups are dialed in. It seems like every single week. I got to get better at getting good on the long run. So that's about it. And thanks everyone for putting on this race, and it's been a lot of fun today.
We definitely appreciate your time, Noah, and back to you, Nolan.
Our second place finisher, Noah Bitts, and with that, we have to talk to one more driver, and we have saved the best for last. Justin Levine, you might be third, you might be a lap down, but you leave tonight crowned a champion in the 2021 Season 4. One race to go, but Clayton Hoffman will not be able to reel that gap in. That must feel good, having that cushion coming into Richmond in 2 weeks.
Oh, it feels great. Definitely wanted to battle it out tonight. Unfortunately, he wrecked on lap 1. I didn't get a chance to go see what happened to him. But it feels great. Definitely to bring home another championship for Frontline. And just super excited.
So you have done the clean sweep here in 2021. You won the Super Cup Series season, and in your first, I believe, full Cup Series of competition, you won the title there as well. Now, this, I have a feeling, could be the start of a very good outing and career for you in the ISCA.
I hope so. I'm hoping that this doesn't interfere with Road to Pro, because once Road to Pro starts, I don't know if I'll have time for leagues.
Well, fingers crossed you'll be able to have a solid run. Of course, Richmond is up next in 2 weeks' time. Skip at Chicagoland for Thanksgiving, but could we potentially see you coming on out to maybe go out and go for one more race win to end it off on a high?
Oh, definitely. I love Richmond. The last time we went there, I finished second. Definitely want to get one more spot and bring it home as a winner, especially since the last race of the year.
Well, fingers crossed you'll be able to have yourself a solid out in there, Richmond, and potentially take a one more final win for Frontline to really end the season off about as strong as it possibly could. Before I let you go, anybody you'd like to shout out for your Frontline number 19?
Definitely to you guys. Got to thank you guys and Kenny for putting this on every week. You guys do such an amazing job. Shout out to Chad. Really proud of Chad. He's been grinding every week. He's there week in, week out. He finally was able to get the win there. Super happy for him, and shout out to Racer and Bruiser Racewear.
And thank you, Justin, for taking the time out of your night to join us up here in the broadcast booth. Congratulations on a third place and another championship. We'll hopefully see you in 2 weeks.
Thanks. Have a good night.
That was Justin Levine rounding it out for us here tonight. And, well, Brian, it feels good to be able to wrap up a championship, early on, potentially being able to go out with another high with one more race win over in Richmond. What do you think we can expect in 2 weeks' time?
Well, probably a lot of the same kind of attributes in a lot of ways when it comes to, that eggshell or, that egg underneath your gas pedal. You're going to have to be really careful on exits there. But I think it's going to be a little bit more forgiving than this racetrack. I don't know. This is a tough one here, but a lot of fun. Love Nashville Fairgrounds, and hate to see it go, but Richmond's definitely a fun one to watch too.
It'll be an exciting race and a thrilling season finale. I can already feel it coming. Well, thank you, everybody, for taking the time to join us here from the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. It has been a phenomenal night for us, as well as for our guys out here that have been doing, such a great job on putting together such a great show. I've been able to remember with Brian Britt beside me in the broadcast booth, Rob Melnick down behind the cameras for for tonight's presentation. Justin Levine is going to be leaving a champion. We get set to do it one more time here in 2021 in Richmond in 2 weeks' time. We'll see you there.